ancient times, once a person got to a certain age, they got married, and that was the norm. These days, however, there are a lot of young people that are genuinely scared to get married. Of course, there are those who aren't married due to certain reasons beyond their control. But our focus today is on those who choose to avoid getting married at all costs because of fear. Welcome to Catholic Faith Forum. I'm May, and today I'm here with Nonso and FriarJay.
Hey guys.
The squad is here again. Yeah, and today we're talking about the fear of marital commitment. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Catholic Faith Forum. I'm May, and I'm here with Nonso and FriarJay, and we're discussing the fear of marital commitment. Nonso, are you scared to get married?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm very sure.
Are you?
I am sure.
Very,
You didn't ask me whether I'm married.
No.
You are married to Jesus. We can't touch that one. Okay, so what do you think is the fear of marital commitment?
I think it's one or several reasons why people would say, I don't want to spend the rest of my life with one person or to raise a family, either because of a trauma from the past or something that someone had said or an experience someone has shared about marriage. Mm-hmm. Often it's triggered by a bad experience of the marital state. So some people just say, you know what, I'm not
going to get married ever.
Yes, into all of that.
Okay, so you agree that there are people that are genuinely scared of
getting
married?
Of course, yeah.
Yes, they are.
Do you know any?
No.
Are you sure?
No. Like, no.
See her face. Okay, so what do you think causes this fear, actually? Because I know, I can tell some people that come from broken homes, and then they feel like they don't have good role models to lead them on. So they just assume that all marriages are disasters. So what else do you think are the reasons why people are scared?
Another good reason could be the bad experience of relatives. You've known somebody who has been married and the marriage fell through, especially if you really had a lot of trust in them and you reposed a lot of confidence in them, and then it didn't work out. And you say, if such a couple that looked very happy at the beginning of their life didn't make it, what says that I, knowing my flaws and my own weaknesses, what says that I'm going to eventually have a very happy marriage? And so because of that, they say, well, because I can't trust anybody to have that good and lasting relationship, I don't think I should go into it.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
some others are because of domestic violence.
Oh.
And it's two ways here. Because you either don't want to be beaten or be the beater. Yeah. I've met people who say they come from homes where their father beat their mothers. So they don't want to be like their father. So they just say, they're just saying an apple does not fall far from its tree. So they just believe that they'll end up being like their father. So they don't want to beat their wives. So they just imagine that, okay, let me even stay off any relationship, any marriage. And while some, on the other hand, are scared of being beaten. We hear stories these days of women that are killed in their marriages. True. Even men that are killed in their marriages. So there are some men out there that are scared of getting married. They might be dating a girl, and then everything is going fine. But because she has this tendency of being very violent, they just feel that she might just wake up one day and kill me. So they don't want to be in that situation.
That's actually violent like that, and you've not worked, the person has not gone for therapy, you've not helped the person become better.
Even those that end up in those kinds of marriages had seen signs.
That's my point. Like, you've seen these signs. Why didn't you work on it or talk to this person or get the person some help?
Well, there are sometimes when people unconsciously are drawn to persons who are like their fathers, if it's for the women, or people are like their mothers for the men. And for good or for ill, they end up with the same persons like the persons that they had as role models, as parents. So sometimes you find out that I don't know if it's a case of being fascinated by evil, but they find themselves drawn towards what is familiar, because maybe in their own mind or to their subconscious, they don't want to fall into the hand of a pretender.
Oh.
So this person is looking all good and prim and proper, and then I go into, and then next thing I know, I fall into this kind of situation. Why not just end up with somebody who is
you
real,
know already,
who is in a way real? Okay, he has a temper. Okay, I'm used to someone who has a temper. He can be violent. I'm used to someone who's violent. I know how to protect myself. Or as some people say in their own twisted mind, if he beats me, that means that there's something to fight for in the marriage.
Some of those that say, if he beats me, he loves me. He's just trying to correct me.
What about those that even say the devil you know is better than the angel you
Which
do not know?
Which is what I said earlier too. Some people say it's better that I end up in the hands of somebody who is real.
Yes, than someone who is.
Than somebody who is pretending to be good and may not really be good. Even though that is not a very good way to do it.
It's a sad thing.
Another reason also can be, so I've heard some women, it's very funny, but they just say, I don't want to change. I don't want to change my name. I don't want to change my body. I'm not ready to adopt or take in a child. I'm not ready to take in. I'm not ready to give birth. I'm not ready for my body to experience this kind of change. So I'm not getting married.
Well, I to some extent, there's some honesty in that, even though it's not a very selfless thing to do. Because to be married, to give birth to children is an act of selflessness. But it's a rather selfish thing to do, to say, oh, I don't want my body to change, to suddenly change because of childbirth or marriage or whatever. Well, the thing is, how long can that person hold on to such an idea? Because what you now find is somebody is taking some other alternative routes to that, which may not be so moral, which may not be so healthy. People would say, I would want to have a surrogate child. I want somebody to carry the baby for me. That is not a Christian thing to do, okay? Because marriage, a child is a gift within marriage, not outside of marriage. Or the person may say, I want to have children by other means, other than the regular way of having children, and those things may come with moral implications that may not be so Christian.
But I read a story of a couple who, because the woman didn't want her body to change, she talked her husband into adoption, and so they adopted children. You think that's also nice?
No, adoption is okay. But then if both of them agree to the fact that, well, we are not going to have children of our own, rather let us adopt other children, that is all well and good. But the ulterior motive or the undisclosed reason of I don't want my body to change, that is some act of selfishness. What if those children don't turn out the way you want them to turn out? You will now say, oh, is it because I gave you the privilege of becoming my child? You see, now that now becomes a backlash.
Yeah.
Because you can't say that of your own child, but you may want to say that of a person you've adopted. So the motive for adoption should be well stated and should be a noble idea, not just because I don't want to distort my body.
Okay, I also believe some people are scared of the term marriage itself. So some men, you see some people, they'll rather date a girl for 10 years, 13 years, but they just don't want to marry. And they're just scared of that.
The funniest is, even if immediately they marry, 2 years they are broken,
and
they are divorced.
Just date the person and a continuous relationship.
I've always asked myself, what is the rationale for that? Because you're still going to live with that person after all. I think they want the freedom to opt out of it. They want the freedom to say, well, it's not working anymore. Let's just go our separate ways. But why keep somebody in such a pensive prison for 10, 15 years? You're not letting the person go. You're not married to the person. I think I heard of a popular singer or rapper recently who had somebody he has been with for so many years, and then the lady died without him ever marrying her. And the question is, why waste that lady's time? Why waste that lady's opportunity of having a very stable home, and then you just say, oh, I'm scared of getting married. I'm afraid of commitment. I think it's selfish. Through and through, it's selfishness. And
some people, theirs is it's not far from the truth. Because of the rate of divorce, they don't ever want to get to that point. So they just say, okay, marriage is something I'll stay off. They don't want to get married because they don't want to get divorced.
I think a lot of people are actually scared of marrying the wrong person.
Okay.
They're like, what if I marry this person now, and after 1 month I realize that I can't live with him anymore.
But then that's why you go through a period of courtship. If you want to marry somebody and you've stated your intention to this person, try to take that person on a journey. Both of you go on a journey of self-discovery.
But I didn't know
what are your likes? What don't you like? Be plain to me. Be open. Let us know each other. And if we are not comfortable with whatever it is that we are, fine.
Okay, but we are humans and people can pretend.
Sure.
I heard a story of a girl that was saying her father was a Muslim and her mom was Christian. He pretended to be Christian for so many years, and the lady thought he was a Christian. When they finally,
how much of that person does she really know?
when they,
some people are good
he
at
pretended,
pretending. Some people are
he
very
pretended
good at
and he
pretending.
lied. So when they finally got married, she woke up one day and saw him praying.
salat.
Yeah, doing his praying the Muslim way, and then that was it. So she didn't know how to opt out. Should she leave because now he's a Muslim or not?
Well, you know, like I said, it's hard for me to believe that if you truly know somebody, you would, in a way, miss something as important as the person's faith.
But we can't fully know a person.
Yes,
if they pretend.
But then, if you say that the person was a Muslim, a practicing Muslim for that matter,
No, the person wasn't
and you
practicing
don't-
doing that.
He wasn't.
Of course,
He was
he's not
pretending.
Pretending, okay, pretended to be a Christian, okay, and you don't hear it from his expressions about faith, the way he speaks about his faith. You cannot tell that there's a discrepancy in the way he speaks about his own faith. I think there's a problem. I think
Okay.
there's a really big problem. Because there is so much you can know about a particular faith within a short time. Even we who are Catholics, not so many of us speak with Catholic registers. You have to keep correcting people about certain terms in the church. So it's obvious that she doesn't even know what who a Christian is, for you to miss something as fundamental as the person's genuineness of faith. I don't want to believe that is possible.
That's a different ball game. I'm actually scared of getting married because of my past experiences, like what happened between my dad and my mom. So I'm always scared of getting married. I hope I don't make the same mistakes. That's why.
Everyone has to get married. It's just something that it's everyone. Okay, some people want to be baby mama, some people want to have baby mama, but but everybody, marriage is a good thing anyway. So I want to get married. I'm not scared of getting married.
Of course not, I'm not. Really, I'm a fan of love. Like, I love love. So I hope one day I get the guy who actually loves me for who I am and spend the rest of my life with the guy, like live with the guy forever. I'm not scared at all.
Okay, we've been speaking about the different reasons why people have fears about marriage. So, do you think it's normal to have doubts and fears before you get married?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Doubt is a part of the natural process of getting to know the other person. Because if you don't doubt certain things, you will not make further inquiries about them. So yes, if I think that, this person is too good to be true, I can go back and do some background check and say, hey, I know this person from this part of this part of the country. Can you help me find out about them? Can you help me dig into their life? And it's not like I'm witch hunting the other person, but try to know about them. Say, okay, yeah, she's who she says she is, and her family is actually a very good family. I've asked around, and of course, in Nigeria, marriage is something that everybody takes very seriously.
Yes.
So people will actually go out of their way to find out for you. So I'll go.
Yeah,
to
they actually do
place
that
and find
research
out.
thing. Once you say you want to marry somebody, your family members will send somebody to go and investigate.
Exactly.
And it's very, very so. They
So
do a
that
thorough
the
investigation.
benefit of doubt is that you get to know the other person.
And even if our families don't help us, we can do it ourselves.
Sure.
Social media is there.
Of course.
Just go and see. I know of a friend who found out the guy she was dating was married from social media. Because guy was too good to be true, buying her things, doing things to her and all that. And she just, okay, let me just go and, since he's my boyfriend, I want to know what he does and all that.
No,
and
it's
she went on
investigate.
social media and then she just started searching pictures, going and getting so interested, and she found the wedding pictures.
There's something
And that
of
was
mine
it.
as well. And I know one that she didn't know he was married. She was already falling in love with the man, and she was planning to even settle down. And then eventually, she went on social media and saw a wedding picture, and she now asked the man openly that, I didn't know you were married. I was like, he never said he wasn't married.
Are you
What kind
serious?
of devil is this
Imagine
one?
that.
From where? Where did you come from? Yes, okay, so when I was researching on this topic, because I realized a lot of people actually have this fear, I realized there's a medical term for it.
Okay.
Gamophobia.
Wow.
Fear of
So-
marriage.
Yes.
Of course, gamos is actually marriage in,
Yes.
in Latin.
So do you think it's a medical condition?
I don't think, well, it might be. Like I said, people have different reasons why they don't want to. I think the first thing would be for a person to be sincere with himself and say, why am I afraid of getting married? Okay, I should be true to myself. Be open to yourself and say, this may be the reason. Can I at least try to resolve it? If I find out that my fears are unfounded, would I be interested in marriage? Okay, because you find out that those people, some of these people say, I'm afraid of marriage. I'm not afraid of sex. You're not afraid of getting into relationships with the opposite sex. So why are you afraid of commitment? Why is the commitment a problem? Why can't you say, I love this person enough to share time, share resources, share the person's body with them? Why can't I make the final move of saying, let this be permanent. Let this be a permanent commitment.
Okay, you see some people that they are actually in love with this person, relationship is going very beautifully. Once the person starts bringing up the idea of marriage, they
Start to withdraw.
They just run away.
So I think it could be a psychological issue that the person needs to come up with. Sometimes you may not even be aware. I know of a case here that somebody had a trauma she was not even aware of, but she was open enough to say, let's go for some kind of psychotherapy, and then it was discovered that she was somebody almost raped her as a child.
Wow.
And because of that, she's afraid of physical touch. Okay, so I don't want you to touch me. Don't touch me. Why are you touching me? So, but then she wants to get married. In her own case, she wanted to get married, but she's just afraid of physical touch. But those are things that can happen if you are open to therapy. So I advise people who would say, I'm going through something and I am not sure why I'm going through it. Go through therapy. Do not be afraid. It doesn't mean that you are
damaged.
You are crazy or something, but go and find out. It doesn't hurt. The right means of finding out therapy. Subject yourself to it, and you'll be surprised at what would be revealed about you, and it will make you better.
Yeah, definitely.
The fear of not knowing what may be the problem is not as much as living out your whole life not knowing who you are.
Your life in fear.
Exactly.
No, I have a friend who lost his wife not like a year ago.
Okay.
And then he was just telling me about a friend of his, or a female friend he almost dated back then. And then he said he invited her for a church program recently, and then she just flared up and shouted, why, what? Stop looking for women, female company. What? I was like, this was just a harmless invitation. So if another friend of theirs now told him that a guy she dated for like 4 years, he didn't dump her, he just married somebody else. So that thing scarred her, and over 20 years ago, she hasn't gotten over it. She's still very, very
angry about it.
So how can people overcome this fear?
Well, I think for such a person, I know a lot of people go through a lot knowing that they've invested their time, their energy, their resources into a relationship, and it doesn't work. The truth is, you shouldn't settle for somebody who doesn't appreciate your true value. Don't settle for someone who doesn't really appreciate you. Know that in and of yourself, you are priceless. There's no price that can be placed on you. And that should be your first point, your point of departure. Knowing that you are coming into that relationship as a gift. And a gift is given freely. And if the other person does not receive it, you take it back. Okay? So yes, the other person has rejected the gift that you are. You take back your gift. It doesn't mean that your gift is worthless. It means that the other person cannot see it. So don't put yourself down by saying, because the person rejected me and even dumped me in the most unceremonious manner, I'm therefore not going to be open to any other relationship. And then you are living in that seclusion, in that reclusive nature. No. You are a gift. And one person does not accept it, somebody else would see it and the person will say, thank God that I met this person. Okay, so don't close yourself up to the possibility of ever settling in a very good relationship.
Okay, so
I think they should just be open-minded and know that it's just like a wound. You don't pamper it, you have to face it. There are some wounds that don't heal until you actually use hot water to press it. So you need to face that problem. I know it's a pain to get dumped by somebody, but just face this pain. You can talk to somebody and be open-minded about other people. And you will meet the right person, sure.
And I also think sometimes people shoot themselves in the foot by presuming that there is a one true love. The people say, there's one person that is meant for you. After that person goes, there's
another person.
I don't think so. I think relationships that lead to marriage are choices that are made by individuals and persons. So if I find somebody, and I think that person is someone that I would want to spend the rest of my life with, hey, why not give it a shot? And if it doesn't happen, yes, you're a human being. You might have thought wrong about that person. You might have had the wrong impression. Take yourself and move on, and find somebody else who at least from your experience of finding someone before, you're able to now say, okay, maybe this person, seeing this and seeing that, and knowing from my past experience that sometimes people can be like chameleons, I would put the person through a test to see if the person is truly genuine. And then you might just be lucky to find somebody who really loves you and you'll be willing to spend the rest of your life.
You talk about
together.
tests. Don't you think when you test people before marriage, you can push them away?
Well, of course, like somebody once said that if the person is really meant for you and the person really wants you, they would withstand the test. Okay. I remember that I was speaking with my former parish priest, and he said something like along the line of, people who intend to enter into marriage with couples should try to see their partner in the wrong, at least put them in a situation where they would show off their worst element, make them angry. So make the other person angry, to see what that person looks like when they are angry. Because if you don't know what the person is like when they are angry, and you say, oh, he's all lovey-dovey, he's all prim and proper, she's all this and that. When you now enter into marriage and something triggers that aspect of that person, you'll be surprised with what you find. And you may now start saying, oh, so this is the kind of person that you are. You have been a pretender all along. But the truth is, you never really got the opportunity to see what they are like on a bad day. So that is something that couples should also look at before getting into marriage. Learn to know the person at their best time, learn to know them in their worst time, so that you're able to make that decision and say, yes, I know them in their best time, I know them in their worst time, and I think I can go along with it.
Okay, Father, before we go, can you tell us what are the practical ways a person who wishes to get married can evaluate their preparedness for the union?
For the first and most important thing is that the person needs to be mature. Maturity here meaning that the person knows that marriage is not a bed of roses. Even though a friend of mine once said bed of roses also means that it's both the flower and the thorns. So maybe it's a bed of roses, but it is not all sweet. There are going to be rough times. Someone once said that you can divide marriage into 3 phases. There is the honeymoon phase, then there's the shock phase, and then there's the consolidation phase. So it's all sweet at the first 2-3 years, and then you hit rock when you now face reality and say, this is marriage. Where the other person is not necessarily, oh, I'm so drawn to you, heart palpitations because I seeing you. You would now face the real person. All the scales are falling from your eyes, and you have to now face the person. And then, if you're able to scale that 3 to 4, 5 years and get into the consolidation and the constancy age, you are now able to now live and love each other, not because of what you've seen, but in spite of the person's flaws. Okay, so maturity is very, very important. The person needs to know that it's a long haul. It's going to be a long journey, and that journey will take you through different phases of life. The second and also very important thing is responsibility. Knowing that you are going to take responsibility not just for yourself, but for the other person. You have to sometimes say sorry, even when you are not the one who is at fault. You have to be willing to say sorry. And then the other part is knowing that you have to create the room for the other person, and not just person, but persons too. Create the room for your spouse. You're also going to create room for your children, where you see that your wife is probably giving more attention, more time and attention to your kids, and you don't feel bad about it. You realize that she is now acting in a capacity not just as a wife, but also as a mother. So, and as a mother, she has to be able to take care of the children. So you may think that she is being, in a way, apathetic to you. She's not showing you love. That's not conscious. It's because now she's focusing on her role as a mother, and you need to be supportive. Then the other part, which many times people don't even realize, is money. Money. Okay, yes, some people say, I don't want to enter into marriage because I don't have the money. But it's not about having money in order to get married, but being financially intelligent. Knowing that you can't be frivolous in your spending anymore. Yes. You have to plan, you have to budget, you have to look out for the other person, you have to save for the rainy day, you have to also think for the future, because you're not always going to be strong enough to make money, but you also need to be able to save for those times when eventually you may not be so strong to keep up all of that. There's a lot more to go into marriage, but the most important thing is seek counsel. There are people who are out there who are professionals who can guide you, can counsel you, and if you have any fears, at least present them. Be open to talk about them with a priest, with a counselor, so that you can have those views assessed and the myths that you supposedly have can be dispelled. Okay, thank you very much, Father. It's been an amazing time with you and Nonso on the show. Any marriage founded on God has a solid foundation, and with God as the glue that holds the couple together, they will live a long and happy life. Let's cue to Judith and Collins for today's episode of Know Your Faith. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Know Your Faith series. My name is Judith.
And I am Collins.
Today we want to talk about a very interesting topic. Actually, it's a question. Did the Blessed Virgin Mary have other children?
You know, funny enough, this question, it brings about talks of one of the 4 dogmas of our Mother Mary, which is her perpetual virginity.
And the Catechism of the Catholic Church, paragraph 499, talks about the perpetual virginity of Mary, even after the act of giving birth to Jesus.
And in actual fact, Christ's birth did not in any way diminish her virginal integrity, but rather sanctified it, which is why the Church refers to Mary as Hyperthenos, meaning the ever virgin.
But didn't the Bible talk about the brothers and sisters of Jesus?
Yes, but those are actually just misconceptions, because the so-called brothers and sisters
we're actually just close relations of Christ. And the names mentioned there, James, Joseph, in some versions you hear Joseph, were sons of another Mary who happened to be a close relation of Christ.
Yeah.
And then we see that in St. Paul's letter to the Galatians, he refers to James as the brother of Christ. But then we all know that James and John are the sons of Zebedee.
Oh, okay. So for the Jews, the term brother is used for a co-religionist or a near relation, as seen in St. Paul's letter to the Corinthians and also in his other episodes.
I mean, even in our own country here in Nigeria, we refer to our cousins, our close friends, people who are not even related to us at all, as our brother or our sister. Okay, so no, Mary did not give birth to any other child aside from Christ, but actually her divine and spiritual motherhood extends to all whom indeed Christ came to save.
So if you have other questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section. I'm sure you've gotten something out of this.
Yep.
Till next time, be bold, be Catholic.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you for being with us today. It's been an exciting one. Sadly, we have to go.
Please don't go. Please don't go. Please.
Follow them.
You mentioned something, prayer, very, very important.
Yes.
Pray. Know that you are making a choice of a lifetime, so pray about it. It's very, very important.
Always pray. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
For comments, suggestions, inquiries, hit us up on our social media platforms at CFF on TV. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Dominican Media Presents for this episode and other episodes of the show, and you'll definitely enjoy yourself. Till next time, keep being saints
In Jesus' shirt. Bye.